Up YouTube, it's your boy King Cobra back at it with another video. So I posted a video from Blair White onto my Facebook, and someone commented, Blair White is a cunt and everyone in the trans community fucking hates her. She frequently spreads lies and she knows to be untrue and keeps the right-wing grifter bucks flowing. I'm like, that's your opinion. That is your opinion. You know what I posted back in that response? Which is hypocritical because if the trans community is all about love and acceptance, then you'll accept every trans person regardless of their views. Oh, but you won't do that because y'all are full of shit. Right-wing lies when both sides spread lies and misinformation. No, anymore, I'm just sick and tired of all the hypocrisy and the hatred. The gay community loves to preach about love, tolerance, and acceptance, but if you don't think exactly like they do, you're intolerant. And I'm like, newsflash, not everyone's gonna think just like you. And this is the thing of it. Just because I support Blair White doesn't mean jack shit. Not everyone in the gay community slash trans community thinks like her, and that's just fine. I love how the gay community slash trans community can hate on Donald Trump, even though he's the first president to host a gay wedding, and allow a trans woman to compete in Miss Universe, but that's not accepting enough. Like, y'all are some intolerant fucking hypocrites, dude. 100%. I'm like, I don't got a problem with the trans community. What I got a problem with is the hypocrisy and everyone taking advantage of their fucking trans privilege. People taking advantage of their trans privilege. Okay, Cobra, what the fuck is trans privilege? When you got a dick and balls, and you still got your, you know what I'm saying? You're still a male by your dick and balls, and you're demanding that everyone allows you to change in the female locker room, but you still have male parts. And if you make everyone else feel uncomfortable in the female locker room, they're told to just get over it and stop being a bigot. But if they make you feel uncomfortable as a trans person, they'll never hear the end of it. That's the hypocrisy I'm talking about. When it comes to like trans versus cisgendered, I gotta say two things. Treat others the way you want to be treated and consider the other side's opinion. But you're not going to do that because everyone is so blindsided by hatred. Everyone in the trans community fucking hates Blair White while screaming it's all about tolerance and acceptance and love. This is just like Dave Chappelle's friend Daphne, because she thought Dave Chappelle was funny, because Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians, because he makes fun of everybody and everything. You see Dave Chappelle put on whiteface and fucking make fun of white people. If I bitch about it, I'm a racist, I'm an intolerant bigot, piece of shit, whatever. If I don't laugh at it, well then I'm a racist for not laughing at a black comedian's jokes. I'm sick of it, dude. Y'all are fake as fuck. 100%. And okay, so the trans community bitches about acceptance and tolerance, yet if Blair White doesn't think exactly like the way you think, she's a fucking cunt and she's intolerant. She's a self-hating trans. If I don't think exactly the way you think, I'm a fucking transphobic, apparently. I'm like, you know what? Not everyone's going to think the way you do. This is exactly my point, and why I have a problem with politics. Is that just because I don't think like you doesn't mean I hate you. We're allowed to disagree with each other on certain topics without it being like, oh, you're a transphobe, or you're you know what I'm saying? Fucking Christ, I'm over it. Why? Because Blair White's more convincing than 95% of trans women out there, and y'all hate her because she's better looking than all these assholes who try to claim that they're a female, and no one's buying your bullshit. Because that's what it is. I talked to my friend Sasha about this, and when people in the trans community hate each other and then bitch because, oh, I'm going to hate you because you don't think like everybody else. I'm like, it's utter fucking hypocrisy at its finest. And I'm like, here's the thing of it. If you are a female transitioning into a male and you don't have a penis, or if you're a male transitioning into a female and you still have your penis and balls, then you do not belong in the opposite sex's bathroom. Straight up. You know, that's what kills me about the trans community. I support trans people. If I didn't, I wouldn't support Blair White and I wouldn't have my friend Sasha. So fuck yourself. Here's the thing of it. If you as a trans woman make everyone else feel uncomfortable because you have your dick and balls and you just decide, I'm not going to get the bottom surgery because I like having a dick and balls, but I'll have the top surgery, blah, 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 and then, like, you want to go into a female locker room and you make everyone else feel uncomfortable with their decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you make your fellow women, I'll use that language loosely because you identify as a woman, and I certainly don't want to offend anyone, but it's not that hard to offend people because all you got to do is have your own opinion and breathe, and you offend somebody. Kiss my ass. Okay, if you offend your fellow women who are cisgendered, they're told to just get over it and deal with it. Oh, you see a trans woman changing in your female locker room and she still has a ball and penis? You know what I'm saying? And if it offends you, you're told to just get over it and deal with it and respect their safe space. Let me ask the trans community this question. You want to call Blair White a cunt? But it's like if someone made you feel unsafe in your trans space, you'd never hear the end of it. Yeah, I'm calling out the hypocrisy like I see it. If this makes you mad, I do not care. I do not give a fuck what my family or friends or fans post on their Facebook page. If I don't like what they have to say, I choose to ignore it. And as somebody who gets bullied for being friends with Sasha, people call me a tranny and a faggot all the time. Like, ha 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 ha. And if I wasn't friends with Sasha, then everybody else would bully me for being transphobic. And honestly, I'm fucking sick of it. I'm like, here's the thing of it. If you make trans people feel unsafe in their safe space, you don't validate their pronouns, whatever, you're a bigot. But what about everyone else's pronouns? Everyone else's safe space? And when you live in a society that only validates political popular opinion, then who's the bigot here? That makes society and you the bigots. And because trans people were discriminated against for so long, and now it's like, okay, we gotta make up for lost time and be like, well, here we go, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to treat you like that. Please don't cancel me. You're so afraid of being canceled or what someone might think about you instead of thinking about human decency and equality. And all this crap does is make it look bad for trans people. Blair White's not doing a goddamn thing except pointing out all the crap. Pointing out all the crap that makes trans people look bad. And then you want to call her a cunt. I'm sitting here like, really? 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 Okay, well, you know what? Fuck you. This is the problem with it. If Blair White speaks about these issues, she gets labeled as a self-hating trans. If I speak out against these issues, I get told I'm a fucking transphobic piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone else in the middle is just like, can I speak and have my own opinion? No, because apparently in today's society, you're not allowed to have your own opinion without someone else getting offended. Oh my God, I am so sick of it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck if you're trans or cisgendered or gay, straight, bisexual, trans, queer, black, white, whatever. That's how they divide us as a society, by making it about our differences instead of making it about what makes us human, what makes us unite. Like Donald Trump was the first president to host a gay wedding. He allowed a trans woman to compete in the Miss Universe pageant, but somehow he's a bigot because your gay rights are being taken away. It's like, you know what, dude? You want to talk about gay rights? Try having gay rights in the Middle East, ruled by these Muslims. You know what I'm saying? Well, like, if you don't comply with Sharia law, they chop your fucking head off. And if you don't like it, deal with it. It's cultural appropriation. You know? You want to throw a fucking fit because your pronouns are being mislabeled when there were children dying of AIDS and starvation in Africa, but you want to throw a fit because your pronouns got mislabeled. Oh, you poor first world oppressed baby. Wham! Everybody wants to talk down to me and treat me like I'm stupid, and the second I have this fucking argument, they want to make excuses about my disorders, like, that's just your ocular deficiency disorder, whatever. I'm like, you know what? Stop making excuses. I'm allowed to think for myself, and it has nothing to do with my disorders. If you don't like what I have to say, then don't watch, don't listen. I get bullied for hating pedophiles, and the second I speak out against certain issues, I get attacked because people can't handle the truth. And just because I see it as the truth doesn't mean you're gonna see it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like the comment I got on my Facebook page, everyone in the trans community fucking hates Blair White. Why? Because she's trans? Oh, you can't say that because that would make you a transphobic. So, like, everyone in the trans community is fucking full of shit, and they're all a bunch of massive, raging hypocrites. You want to sit there and say it's all about love and acceptance, but if Blair White has an opinion on it, you're going to hate her. But if Trump allows a trans woman to compete in Miss Universe, you're still going to hate him and call him transphobic. This is the kind of rhetoric that the radical left loves to preach. It's like, why can't we just get along and stop making it about, like, trans versus straights, you know, gay versus straights, trans versus cisgender, black versus white, religion, etc. I'm just sick of it, dude. There's so much fucking goddamn hatred in our world, and nobody wants to stop and think, maybe we should stop making it about trans versus cis, gay versus straight, black versus whites. And then even amongst all that bullshit, you got black people who hate other black people, and you got fucking trans people who hate other trans people, while screaming, we're oppressed and we're sick and tired of the hatred, and why can't we just have love and acceptance? You're a miserable fucking hypocrite. And then when you Google white slavery and you find out that white slaves existed in Africa, it completely changes the fucking arguments. And I know me saying this is going to piss off a lot of my Facebook friends. I don't care. Stop making it about sexuality, gender, religion, race, class, etc. And start making it about we're all having a human experience. We're all having a human experience. And we're all just trying to live our lives and find acceptance. But, like, when the assholes who experience the most political oppression finally get equality, all of a sudden they start becoming the people that they secretly hate. So now, like 20 years ago, if I were to speak out against gay people or trans people, nobody would stop me. But now if I do it today and be like, I don't hate gays or trans, I just don't like people abusing their fucking privilege and all the assholes speaking out on their behalf and then all the assholes ruining it for this community, I get told I'm a phobic piece of shit. I'm like, excuse me, to quote the trans/gay community, don't assume my pronouns. And, like, the other day I got into an argument with someone I care about over politics, Democrat versus Republican, and it was the stupidest of arguments. And the argument I got with someone I care about put me in a very dark place. I'm not going to lie. Arguing with that person in particular, not going to see who it is, because you know who you are when I post this video on Facebook. That argument put me in a very dark place. I wanted to unalive myself because I'm so sick and tired of fighting with the world. I get so much crap from my YouTube trolls, and then I get crap from everybody else. And all I'm doing is trying to live my life and have a human experience, just like trans people, just like gay people. The only difference is sexuality and gender and religion. The whole argument is fucking stupid, dude. Jesus fucking Christ, I'm over it. And I'm like, you know what? You stop making it about politics. It'd be like we're all human beings just trying to coexist with each other. Would it kill the world to be nicer to each other and stop making it about gender, race, religion, politics, sexual orientation, etc.? Well, if it did, then I'll stop bitching about it. Because I don't want any drama, dude. Even though I hate the human race, I want world peace. Everybody wants to hate on Blair White, including the trans community. And even though the trans community bitches about acceptance, tolerance, and having a safe space, if you make everybody else who isn't trans uncomfortable in their safe space, those people are told to just deal with it and quit being transphobic. And then when you fucking hate on Blair White because she doesn't think like you do, she gets labeled as self-hating trans. And it's hypocrisy at its finest. I'm not here to talk down to people. I'm here to find reason and a solution. And my solution is give trans people their own sports leagues. To give trans people their own bathrooms. And to give trans people their own locker rooms. Here's the thing of it. If you have a unisex bathroom, I don't think the world's going to fall apart because you have a unisex bathroom where men and women can use the bathroom and everyone can coexist. Because the way I look at it, being able to use the bathroom and shit and piss should be a basic human right. You know, you want to make it about gender equality when I hear women bitch about men all the time and trans people bitch about cisgendered people and trans people bitch about Blair White because blah, 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 your opinion. It's all hypocritical at its finest. And I don't gotta say shit, dude. I'm patiently waiting for my next food hack to happen, which is gonna happen tomorrow. Thank you to all my fans, sincerely, for buying a King Cobra cameo shoutouts. That's how I was able to afford the food hack I'm going to do tomorrow. It's going to be a McDonald's food hack. Because I love Mickey D's. I grew up eating that stuff, you know. My dad would take me to McDonald's to buy a Happy Meal. I'm old enough to remember McDonald's having a fruit roll-up in their Happy Meals. Excuse me. You know, back in the day when you were a 90s baby and you got the Happy Meal and the fruit snack that came in the McDonald's Happy Meal, it was a rainbow-colored fruit roll-up snack. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, if you finish your chicken McNuggets and your fries, you can have your prize and your toy, you know? I'm old enough to remember that. I'm a 90s baby, represent. And that's just it. I don't want to fight with my dad or my mom or my trolls or anyone. I'm just tired of fucking arguing with everyone. And then when everybody's like, nobody wants to have a conversation, and I'm sick and tired of everyone yelling and arguing and preaching down to me kind of thing. And I'm like, well, if you don't want to have a conversation without it being about your opinions and your feelings and, oh, we can't say anything because it might offend you, then you're just a part of the problem as the rest of us. Oh. I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's the fucking truth. I want to title the comment on this video, Hear Me Out. And be like, I'm not here to offend anyone. I'm tired of fighting with the world. I'm tired of the world fighting me. You know? The trans community loves to bitch about tolerance and acceptance, but Blair White and Trump get the most hatred out of everyone, and then yet you scream about how you're sick and tired of being hated on and preached at. And I'm like, treat others the way you want to be treated. It's the golden rule. You know, when people in my Facebook feed compare Trump to the next Hitler, and it pisses me off, you know what I choose to do? Ignore it. But when I post something on Facebook that might offend certain people, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Josh, you're a piece of shit. I'm like, you know what? I'm allowed to think for myself, thank you. And you're allowed to think for yourself. And if we can't get along on certain issues, then I just choose to not discuss certain issues around certain people. And it shouldn't be an issue because the whole fucking argument is about basic human equality. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, hear me out. If I was a father of myself and my daughter was changing in a locker room, and some dude came in, but they're trans, so they're not a dude, they're a female now, allegedly. And my daughter saw a dick and balls in the female locker room, and it made them feel uncomfortable. My daughter would be told, well, you're a transphobe, get over it. Well, the trans community screams it's all about tolerance and acceptance. I'm like, you know what? It's not my fault that trans people don't have their own locker rooms. So, you know, if you're going to make your fellow women, loose quotations, feel uncomfortable and fuck everybody else, then nobody's going to take you seriously because it just makes you look like a giant, massive hypocrite. Screaming about how gender doesn't exist, but you must respect my gender pronouns, and that genitalia is not defined by gender, so then why do you fucking get the transition surgeries? If gender doesn't define genitalia, then why do you get fake boobs and a fake cunt? Why do you take your penis, slice it down the middle in your ball sack, and rip your testicles out, and then like Frankenstein it into a fake cunt? So you can say, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dude. I'm not trying to be a dick. As long as you're not a goddamn sicko, I could give a fuck what you're into. And like, okay, so like when I speak out on these issues, I get told I'm a transphobe, and then when fucking Blair White speaks out on it, she gets told everyone in the trans community fucking hates her. I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna bitch about how you're sick and tired of all the hatred and you want acceptance, but you hate your fellow trans people? You know? That's kind of bullshit, dude. Like, I'm just saying, I don't give a fuck what your political agenda is. Quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of how politics divides us as a goddamn country. Everyone in the trans community fucking hates Blair White, but then preaches and bitches because they want acceptance and tolerance. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're allowed to hate me because I'm cisgendered and straight? You're allowed to hate Blair White because she supports Trump? And then you want to sit there and bitch because it's all about love and acceptance? Go fuck yourself. No, Donald Trump was the first president to host a gay wedding, and LGB still hates his ass. I'm like, yeah, whatever. What the fuck ever. Like it or not, Trump's our president for the next 4 years. And being a sore loser hypocrite about it isn't going to gain you any favors. All we're going to do is find more shit to laugh about. The other day, when I was in a car with a certain someone, I saw it was raining outside, and I made the comment, oh look, it's raining libtard tears. And it offended the driver of the car in question. I wasn't trying to offend them, I was just making a joke. And what does that person do? Proceed to start an entire huge political argument about nothing in front of me and him. I acted immaturely, and they acted immaturely, just typical butting heads with the people involved. Instead of laughing at it, laughing at themselves, they'd be like, oh, Josh, you silly wanker. That's not appropriate. And just leave it at that. Nope, we had to make a huge fucking argument about it. I get bullied for being King Cobra JFS. I dress goth. I listen to Cradle of Filth and Ozzy Osbourne. So when I wear goth makeup, everyone calls me a faggot and a tranny, even though they know I'm straight and cisgendered. And then I get told nobody makes fun of you for being straight, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't know my life, dude. I don't know trans people's lives. And that's the thing of it. I get so sick and tired of our society getting offended on everyone else's behalf instead of asking, how do you think they feel about it? Case in point, you have the Aunt Jemima syrup commercials. Well, she was a black woman, and because she's black, because she was a former slave, we gotta make it about racism and be like, well, we're gonna remove her. Not to mention that, like, Aunt Jemima was a black woman who, yes, she was a former slave, but as soon as she got freed as a slave woman, as a black African-American woman of descent, she was one of the first African-American females to make $1 million off of her delicious pancake syrup. That's got to be like the giant fuck you to her former slave owner, like, well, this syrup is fucking delicious. Wait a minute, I recognize her face. God damn it! Instead of being like, okay, black people, how do you feel about Aunt Jemima being on the syrup bottle? If they would have said, I don't give a shit. It's not about the race. It's about the simple fact of that pancake syrup tastes delicious. Oh my fucking God, I'm so sick and tired of political bullshit. I hate police brutality, and when it happens to blacks, it's all over the fucking news. But when it happens to a white person, nobody cares, because it doesn't fit the narrative. It's the same thing with like sexism, racism, and rape. If it happens to everyone else, that person's a piece of shit naturally, of course. But if it happens to a white, straight, cisgendered male, nobody gives a shit. How is it rape when all men want is sex? Fuck that. And it's like, here's the thing of it. What it boils down to is treat others the way you want to be fucking treated and stop making it about race, gender, sexuality, religion, creed, etc. Because, it doesn't fit the narrative that all straight, white, cisgendered, heterosexual males are sexist, racist, blah, 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 blah. All these women who are complaining because Trump's president, it's like, check your female privilege, dude. If Kamala Harris had won the presidency, nobody under the male sex would be allowed to complain about it, especially if you were white. If a white male complained about it, you'd be told to shut the fuck up, check your white privilege, check your male privilege, and, it's her turn. You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. Okay? Like, you're mad because Trump's president, Can men honestly say, it's because you hate men and you're racist towards white people? You'd never hear the end of it. You'd be like, you hate men. That's why you hate Trump being president. It's like, grow the fuck up, dude. When my family and my friends, like I said, post shit on Facebook that I don't agree with, I choose to ignore it. Because it's not worth having the conversation about it. If we're not going to agree on the issue, then I choose to peacefully and strongly agree to disagree. When I'm having an argument with people that I care about, I'd rather use my smart mouth and my logic and the way I perceive things. A lot of people dig what I'm laying down. And the way I see it, trans people should have their own sports leagues. It's kind of unfair to let them compete with other women who are cisgendered. You're a dude. Women have had to fight for equality since the 1960s to have their own sports leagues. Just to have men who are like, all they gotta do is get some fake titties and inject themselves with testosterone and like estrogen and whatever else. Just to qualify as a female, whatever. It's stupid. I'm like, I can say I'm Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. That doesn't make it true. And I'm sitting here like, you know what? Fuck politics and fuck the human race fighting with each other. And you gotta make it all about, like, you know, gender, religion, race, sexuality, and gender and all this stupid shit. And honestly, I'm just sick of hearing it. Trans people are bitching at cisgendered people. And when I watch trans people hating each other because they don't align with the groupthink while screaming at everyone else, they're tired of the intolerance and the hatred. I'm like, okay, if you hate Blair White because she doesn't think like you're a massive hypocrite. Straight people want to hate me because I support trans and gay rights, and I'm not a bigot. I fight for female and male equality. I fight for human equality because, like I said, we're all human beings, dude. We're all just trying to figure out who we are as people and have a human experience. That doesn't make us bad. What makes us bad is our personal decisions. It shouldn't be about politics. But everyone's got an opinion, and they all fucking stink because everyone's got an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's got an opinion, and opinions are like assholes, and they all stink. Someone called Blair White a cunt in my comment section because I posted a Blair White fucking video on my Facebook. And they scream at me about how the trans community fucking hates Blair White. And it's like, okay, so you're going to give everyone else shit because they hate trans people and then turn around and hate Blair White because she doesn't think like you? That's hypocrisy at its finest. Oh, Josh Saunders is drinking and fucking talking politics and speaking his truth. And this isn't just my truth. This is the way I perceive the world. How the fuck are you gonna hate me because I don't agree with everything you think? You know? And it's like, just because I don't agree with everything you think doesn't mean I hate you. And then when I throw everyone's bullshit back in their face, everyone's gotta fucking give me shit about it. I'm like, you know what? If you don't like it, then stop giving Cobra shit. Respect my opinion and I'll respect yours. To a point. As long as you're not a goddamn sicko, I don't give a shit. Fuck, I'm so tired of dealing with people's fake hypocrisy and everyone trying to throw it in my face and then when I throw it in their face, I'm no better than the people I bitch about. I'm like, people are shit. I said it. I'm like, you know what? If it clearly says male locker room, female locker room, and you still have male or female parts, then you don't belong in said locker room. You know? You want people to respect your safe space, then you gotta respect everyone else's safe space. That's called equality. And equality's a bitch, and so is my ex-girlfriend. Facebook winning? No. I thought Josh posted the video. Let's see what he has to say. You know what, Josh? Fuck you for fucking telling it like it is. Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm nobody, man. I'm nobody. I'm a waste of space. I'm a stupid, autistic, drunk, alcoholic piece of shit. I'm nobody, dude. I'm nothing. A lot of people love me and support me and respect me. And you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate all the cool Cobras who support me. And like, Cobra's not an asshole. He's just unapologetically himself. And he's not afraid to speak out for both sides of the arguments. And that kind of thing makes people angry and mad. Like, I can't stand it. Oh my God. And believe me, I've had these conversations with Sasha, my trans friend, Alex Campbell. And like, she doesn't speak for every trans person out there. And neither does Blair White. So just because I post a video about Blair White speaking her truth, everyone's gonna freak out and be like, well, she's such a cunt, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, seriously? Everyone should be allowed to have their opinion to a point, you know? And that's just my opinion. And I get so much crap for being Sasha's fucking straight allied cisgendered friend. It's ridiculous. My trolls go out of their way to bully me for being friends with Sasha, and yet if I wasn't friends with her, I'd be called a transphobe. So do with that information what you will. Word vomit. I feel 1,000 times better after saying that on camera. Just straight up like, you know what? I don't got a problem with trans people. What I got a problem with is the political correctness. I'm all for humans and people who deserve it having more rights. You're a decent person like the rest of us. You deserve equality just like the rest of us. And I'm sick and tired of everyone making it about gender, race, politics, religion, etc. And like, God forbid I post a fucking thing on my Facebook that makes you go, that makes me mad. Oh, wow, get over it. I support trans people 100%. I'm the last person to bully someone for being gay or LGBT plus because I get so much crap for being King Cobra. If anything, the word tranny and the word faggot gets used as an insult against me because of who I am, because I'm a heterosexual cis-normative goth. I listen to Cradle of Filth. And I get bullied for that too by the goth community and the black metal community, you know? And I'm just sick and tired of all the hypocrisy. Like the black metal community will bitch because nobody understands us. And I'm sick and tired of being judged for my taste in music. And then turn around, oh, well, you listen to Cradle of Filth, you're a poser. And I'm like, see that? See that? My Cradle of Filth band logo with my Ozzy Osbourne knuckles. Suck a bag of ass, dude. 100. And that's just it. I don't want trouble with people. I'm so sick and tired of drama in my life. I'm sick and tired of fighting with everybody. I'm sick and tired of people judging me and judging everyone else. And nobody wants to make an effort to be nicer to each other because it's all about self-gain and self-interest. You know? People are fucked and I'm tired of it.